Good morning. It is the day before Thanksgiving here in the US. If you're somewhere else, it's also still Wednesday, November 27th. The markets are getting a little bit of excitement in them right now. We've got to make sure we are prepared for probably some volatility over the next few days. What are we doing about it? What is the practice right now? Should we be sitting on our hands? Should you be making trades? We're going to talk about that. I'm in a trade right now, and I've been in about 4 trades this morning. Actually more than that, 4 or 5 trades this morning. And I'm going to break them down and show you where I entered, why I exited, what different signals I was looking at. But as we are waiting to go live, everybody get this retweeted out. Coughing on this green candle. But we've got some excitement coming in. It's holiday season. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. To buy or hold for the dip, that is the question, Jay Dowell says. But as we're waiting to get into this, everybody get this retweeted out over at Kelly Kellum or at Academy BitLab. This is live right now. We're going to get some tunes playing because the market's feeling good. It's waking up. So let's do what we can and get this rally going.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin to flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards when it comes to gas. Our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pump.
we are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Prepare for this.
I am here for this. You are here for this. We've been stacking for this. Let's not mess this up. It's holiday season. It is green. Yes, red can be part of the holiday colors as well, but we've had red for too long. We're in the green. Let's talk about what we're doing to stack into this to make these profits. We're about to get into it. Everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. If you're ready, drop a 1 in chat. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. The market is waking up. It's starting to not only break out of this downtrend that we talked about yesterday and this breakout that we had right here, a little bit of a retest, starting to move up. And look exactly, this is the line we drew yesterday, exactly where the price had hesitation. Why did it stop there? Could we have prepared? Is there something we could have done? Like having a little crystal magic ball that could give us some insight as to where price is going to pause, where it's going to continue, so on and so forth. And it is this previous range low right here where we bounced here and we rejected here. We see this is the same spot. It's called price memory in the charts. But my memory right now is of each and every one of you. I remember that I'm grateful for you. I remember that I love you. I remember that I want us all to win. I'm here to bring you meaningful content, tools, resources, and of course, just build this incredible community that is comprised of each and every one of you. We are all in this together. I am a community member here just like you, and I read all your comments. I see what you're saying. I watch your engagement, and I look at this market ripping to the upside. And remember, is this a big rip? Oh, no, it's not that big of a rip, Kelly. Okay, let's go to the 3-day chart and look at this and realize, holy moly, this is, just from November 5th, it's, 50% pump with a pullback to 92,000. Now we're back up over 96,000. Remember, not that long ago, was it September 9th? Price was $53,000. 53, and yet all of us have felt a little impatient with this, not just blasting through $100,000. But with that being said, we're going to be talking about some TA today. We're going to be looking at some charts. We're going to be looking at some signals. And most importantly, the question is, if you're new here, maybe you stumbled your way into this stream, is Bitcoin price too high? Why would I buy here? It's almost at $100,000. Well, if you understand what's going on and the legitimate, literal schedule of buying pressure that's coming in from the U.S. government, which is going to trigger basically every other top world government, corporations, the billions of inflows on a basically daily basis of people with this appetite for Bitcoin in a way that we've never seen. Right now, I'm telling you, you heard it here, that Bitcoin's price is not high. We are just now entering that next phase of early adopters. We're past the super early, we're crazy risk focused, let's moon lottery. We're past that phase. We're at the phase now where we actually have a legitimate asymmetric risk chance with the support of governments actually saying we need to get behind this, with an entire U.S. government administration that believes in Bitcoin. In fact, they are going to structure a lot of policies around how do we support this? How do we participate in this? And we're also seeing different court cases and different changes in different parts of different government agencies, like Gary Gensler from the SEC and Janet Yellen and all these people that have been freaking roadblocks to the best asset in the history of the world. And we are here for it. You are here for it. And if this is your first time here, I'm sorry you've missed out on the last 2 years, but you made it here. My name's Kelly Kellum, the leader, the director of BitLab Academy. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I'm about to break down some data for you so that we can capitalize on this market. How is each and every single one of you doing? I want to see roll call right now. Every single one of you, just put a random emoji in the chat. If you're a BitLab member, drop a bull or the crazy chicken or the space cat. I don't care. I want to see engagement. I want to make sure you're all awake. I want to make sure you got your pencils out, AKA you got your exchanges, your computer, your mind, everything ready, because we're about to dive into it. And that is because it is, that time where the market is starting to do exactly what we've wanted it to do. We got to get out the disco ball sent to me from Tater here in chat. Big love to you. Appreciate you so much. But we got to talk about what's going on here. We're at $96,000 and some people are frustrated right now. How the hell can you be frustrated with the market where it is at? But we're going to go through some things. We're going to be diving in to a bunch of charts. I'm going to be talking about some of these coin picks that I have shared with you over the last few months that are absolute rippage material. I'm talking, 200, 300% gains. And so you got to pay attention. I'm talking from fundamentals. I'm talking from understanding the teams. I'm talking from when we're looking at charts and a deep understanding of these chart structures that suggest when liquidity is setting up to come in. I'm trying to make sure I can keep you as best I can on the right side of the trend, but it comes down to you. Only you can prevent forest fires. If you guys remember that ad from the 80s and 90s, let me know. But let's go through this. Let's actually see if we need to close this trade. Okay, we're a little bit underwater here, but that's okay. We're going to go through some of these things here in a second. This is here on CoinW, showing you some of the trades I made this morning. Very quick little pops. Pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out, pop in. Added right here. Pop in, pop out, popped in right here again, popped out. Just profit. Look, propped in. It went underwater, but I understood what the assignment was in the chart. So I let this come back to confirm whether it was going to break down or not. It did. So I basically got out at even. It started making some moves. It got back in here on this candle right here. And I'll show you why in a moment. There's a clear signal why. And if this fails, that's okay. We're doing small, concerted, focused trades with an account. I mean, you guys, I'm doing okay financially. So when I'm doing this, and yes, this is 40x leverage on this, but I'm trading with $400. Now, for me, that is, for the most part, inconsequential. So I'm okay to do small amounts of money, very high leverage, so I can take very quick scalp positions. Now, on my larger trading portfolio or position portfolio, the altcoin portfolio that we have been stacking this one specifically together, we started this one in February. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Everything, look at this, 24% up, 48% up, 48% up, 80% up, 82% up, 67% up, 18% up, 211% up, almost 30% up, 48% up. There's going to be a couple that are still in the red. Got 8/3 down a little bit, 17%, but up 50%, 58%. And sworn markets is just not doing us. Part of me wants to add to it to lower my average entry, but this is everything else is doing so well. I'm not willing to rotate out of that to do that. If this is going to perform, it will. If not, then it's going to be one of those things that it's okay that we have a diversified portfolio and we can take the loss if that doesn't do anything. That's okay. That's what the beauty of having a diversified portfolio is. And I still expect Polytrade to do quite well. We're down about 5% there. Duke, along with other coins out there, some in the there's like the meme coin market. Some stuff absolutely rips, and other stuff kind of takes a while for fundamentals. But I do know Duke also has a lot of integrations with some fundamental use cases that are going to be rolling out that should also help bring this back to good profits. Now coming back over to here. Could not be reached, but here we go. $3.32 trillion in the crypto market. We got 268 people that just popped in here. We got another 200 plus over there on Twitter. Shout out to each and every one of you. Again, we're going to be diving into a bunch of TA, looking at what's going on in this market, some levels that we really need to pay attention to. The structure here showing, basically signaling the breakdown, the signal here signaling the breakout. Are we going to push beyond this? And of course, we've got a number of some things I want to show you from the past cycle, and then a number of other things within the altcoin market that is just signaling some absolute magic. And we're going to be talking about so much. So everybody, make sure you hit that like button, show some love, get involved in the live chat, share this out with your friends and family on over at Kelly Kellum or at Academy BitLab, the live stream that is going on there right here. Is the Bitcoin price too high? Remember, a lot of people think that. There's a lot of people out there. Some of you might feel that way. Well, I'm waiting for the pullback. I'm waiting for it to get back down to 7. It might not ever happen. I'm going to show you where this is going, where this is likely going, and what we can do about this also within the altcoin space to make sure that we can dominate, make sure our portfolios can change our lives. That's what we're in this for. So diving into some of these things. Well, billionaire and Pantera Capital CEO says Bitcoin is going to $745,000. We saw Charles Hoskinson also just mention Bitcoin going to 250,000 or 500,000 this cycle. We've seen Kathy Wood over there from, where is she from? ARK Invest, talking about Bitcoin, basically a realistic target somewhere in the $1.5 million range here. I think she said by 2030. Up is a direction from here. To get there, we've got to build the stairway to heaven. You got to be able to endure some of the movement in this market and not be susceptible to the emotional trigger that this market gives that takes your money and gives it to somebody else that's more patient. Most of us, I would argue, and I hate to say this because we're all absolute degens and we should not be. We see the beauty of what can come in this market, but we also have to remember you do not want to put yourself in a position that you can't pay for life's things, life's goods, life's, rent, food, car payment, everything out there. Make sure you're not overexposing yourself, because what happens when you overexpose yourself, meaning you have so much capital in the market, if it starts going the other way, that's when your emotionality gets triggered and you forget your strategy, because then you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm not even going to be able to pay rent because I put my rent money in and I was expecting it to double and now I can't. Don't overexpose yourself in this market, because that's when you become a victim of yourself. Because we've got so much money to be made in this market. Sometimes you need to look at it in percentage points for your portfolio, not the dollar amount compared to Crypto Face's $20 million trades, or when I'm doing a $20,000 trade, or, Josh and I are doing a $150,000 or $200,000 trade. Do not compare where we are at with what your portfolio is. Look at it in percentage gain basis and the ways you can also prevent percentage loss. We're going to do this together, so let's continue on here. We got some stuff to go through, guys. Tornado Cash, 1. This is one of those things I was just talking about. The Tornado Cash lawsuit is a win for all of crypto because it's another thing that substantiates the clearing of the path of the crypto market going forward with all that regulation by enforcement that has been suppressing and limiting capital to flow freely into this, especially from big players, especially from smart players, especially from somewhat conservative players. We're starting to see the pathway become not only a clear path because of the data, and now we've got, you know, a decade and a half with Bitcoin and about nine to 11 years with other altcoins, and we're starting to see the birth of some legacy crypto players, and we're starting to see the appetite for big players, or at least the awareness starting to grow exponentially. And things like this, even if you don't give a crap about Tornado Cash lawsuit, this is positive for the crypto ecosystem because it also signals to venture capitalists. It signals to big money players. It signals to so many people out there that it's starting to become more legally okay and less risk than it previously was. Because before, it's like you put your money somewhere, you don't know if the SEC is going to come down and just completely wreck that project, so on and so forth. So this is a more bullish than you know. Privacy won, smart contracts won, Tornado Cash won, and OFAC lost. Here's the decision. This is just amazing. It's so amazing. Now, when we look here also, we see a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill has been proposed in Brazil. Remember what we were just talking about with the US having their basically not only the discussion around a potential US strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, it seems like it's more likely than not to happen. And it's signaling to the rest of the world, you better, you know, if you want to get left behind, don't do something. If you want to stay at least on the path that you're on, at minimum, you gotta get your shit in order and get involved with Bitcoin. So this is bullish as it can be. Now, $90,000, $100,000. We're frustrated. It's not just breaking through it. I shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. This is from my buddy here, the Real Plan C, one of the best analysts out there in the space. He says, happy to see Bitcoin take a breather and consolidate a bit at 90 in the 90s, meaning not just breaking through, doing some work, consolidating, price go up, price go down, price go up, basically trading in a range. It's known as a consolidation here in the 90s. Why is this? I was hoping this would happen. It's looking more likely that we could actually spend some time consolidating in the 90s, which would be okay. It would be okay. Remember, we just did 7 months sideways. Some of you were bored. But then what happened at the end of that? At the end of that, the breakout, it was a matter of a week. And we went from basically the mid 60s to $99,000. So let's be okay with some consolidation, building a really freaking strong staircase on the way up. Because if it goes straight up, then it goes straight down. And you never know when that's going to happen. So here we go. And if that's the case, it would be best case scenario for the longevity of this bull market. Everyone gets excited during the up only phases of the bull market, but consolidation periods are incredibly important. Remember, one of the biggest Bitcoin bull markets ever was in 2017. Why? Because that cycle had over a dozen short-lived deep corrections. At this stage of Bitcoin's growth, I don't think we'll see corrections that are as deep, but instead we're likely experiencing longer sideways consolidation periods with smaller percentage pullbacks as opposed to the shorter, sharper pullbacks. What he's talking about is this magic right here. And I kind of marked out some of them. This is 2017. This is the election back here. Sorry, 2016 into 2017. This is that. I mean, look at this. This is roughly about where the election was, somewhere right here. And what we can see here, look, 34% pullback, then rip to the upside. 35% pullback, right? I mean, this was in January. This was in March, 3 months apart, 34%, then 35%. Then a move that just melted faces right there, 224% pump to the upside, immediately followed by another 41% correction. And then another move very quickly, another 172% move to the upside, followed immediately by a 41% dip to the downside. What's most important here is if it starts dipping, is at the top, stop thinking like a little baby. Understand where we are in this market cycle. I've broken this down for you on a daily basis. And for those of you that watch every day, I'm sorry, but we got to get it through our heads, and we have to make sure anybody new also understands this. The Bitcoin halving cycle, boom. Yes, you've heard it time and time again. This shaded area counts the days from the halving, and it outlines what it looked like in the last cycle during that period. In the last cycle before that, what did you see from this point right here? Up. From this point right here, up. Now, was it up only? No. 30%, 40%, but a face melting move from $200 all the way up here to 19,700 or whatever that top was. So where we're at right now, considering the amount of capital flows, that new capital flows, mind you, since January 11th of this year, we're still within that first year of the Bitcoin spot ETFs becoming available in the US, which started signaling the adoption wave was coming. And it's starting with, yes, people that are a little bit more risk, have more risk appetite in the institutional corporate and, you know, big money players. So we're at that kind of early adopter stage of the big money, but this is only increasing. We have all these state Bitcoin U.S. state Bitcoin reserve for like Pennsylvania, for Texas, for Wyoming, is it going to be Texas? Is it going to be California? Is it going to be, who's it going to be? It's going to be every state eventually, or the majority of them, in addition to the U.S. Bitcoin spot ETF, strategic Bitcoin reserves. And then we have things like Microsoft, then we have Amazon, then we have Apple, then we have, guys, is the Bitcoin price high? Man, this is only getting started. And I'm not saying that as a moon boy at all. I'm saying that based on the data and understanding, reminding us all. You have a stock out there trading at over $650,000. One stock, one unit. You have to buy the entire unit. That's Berkshire Hathaway. But then you have Bitcoin is trading at 91,000, 92, 95, 96, even if it's 170, even if it's 200. The difference is it's, I don't want to say infinitely, but near infinitely divisible. You can buy $5 worth. You don't need to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy $7 worth a week. You can buy $100 worth. You can buy whatever amount fits your budget. It's divisible by these things called Satoshis. So if somebody says 1,000 sats, it's 1,000 Satoshis. And the Satoshis are the divisible increments of Bitcoin. We have so much further to go in this market. Also, considering, remember, there's a 21 million total fixed cap of how many Bitcoin can be available ever. We're at over 19 million something. It's going to take another 130 years before the rest of that last 1.5 million Bitcoin get mined. The price is not high. It's only getting started. So let's continue on here. We're going to get into some TA here in just a moment as well. Shout out to everybody that's here. This is that outlined again from Mags here, the Scalping Pro. 29% down, minus 40%, 33%, 27%. These are all pretty big corrections on the way up to just absolute Valhalla in this cycle. Now, mind you, I want you to realize something. It took years, 2009 into basically 18, so 9 years for the market to finally reach roughly about $19,000, $20,000. Because this is a logarithmic, this doesn't look the same, but the oscillations here that we saw from March until our breakout right here, 7 months sideways action, there was 8 moves that were basically 18 to 22%. Sorry, $18 to $20,000 moves. The entire size of the market cycle in the history of Bitcoin up until the end of 2017, we did 8 times up and down in 7 months. The entire size of that market. This is only going to get exponential from here. And we can see this starting with the move that we're making right now. If it consolidates here, let it. I did a video this morning. I shared it on Twitter, shared it here on YouTube. Patience and profit taking are going to be the most difficult thing all of us are experiencing over the next 12 months. Trying to figure out at what point do I take profits? Also remembering if you get a little bit of a drawdown, that's not the place right now based on where we are in the market cycle to just run for the hills because you're scared. That's not why you entered. So we're down a little bit on that. That's okay. And I'm going to break down some of these trades that I took earlier here in just a little bit. But let's continue on here as well. So we do see some long-term holder net position change. What does this mean? Long-term holders have offloaded 728,000 Bitcoin in the last 30 days. So there's some people taking some profit. And this is something that I spoke about for, several months leading up to that near $100,000 mark. And that was $100,000 for Bitcoin. Regardless of us knowing that it's going to go so much higher, it is still a massively important psychological number for the market. It's a very important number for profit taking also because there's going to be even people that are absolute Bitcoin maxis like Max Kaiser, who is buying Bitcoin and telling people to buy Bitcoin at $1. He said one of the first places that I'm going to take some profits is 100,000. I mean, 100,000 is a very important number. Some people that are even in the market, not everybody has your long-term view. Some people are only in to trade the volatility and maybe don't even believe, they don't care about Bitcoin. And that's okay because this is a capitalist open market that anybody can participate for whatever reason they want. There's going to be some profit taking, and we might need to consolidate a little bit before the next big push comes in. But who knows? We're at 95.7, 95.6. We went from 63 to where we're at now in the matter of days. It could be, it could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be even into January before we break 100, but it will happen. The question is, how are you allowing yourself to ride or die in this market? So continuing on, we're going to get some TA here in a second. Just remember, this is Bitcoin 4-hour chart, looking at 2023 as an analog. Grind sideways, got that move up, round trips right back where? To the 100-day EMA. Well, this would not be the 100-day because it's the 4-hour, but the 100 EMA right here. Boom, bounces, chop sideways, basically consolidation. And then you see this sort of flat top right here, this flat top of meaning where the resistance, little deviation, but essentially it's a flat level here with the rising level of support, meaning where the price is bouncing, is getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. See, higher, higher, higher. And this is relatively flat. That's a bullish pattern in of itself, but it's consolidating, riding this 100 EMA. And then ultimately, boom, breaks out, boom, you get the win. This may be something that we're doing right now. If I exit out of this, you can see the whole thing, but we got the ground sideways. We got the round trip up, comes back. Maybe we chop sideways throughout the rest of this month, which is, only 3 days, but into December for some time before we get that move up. We have to take this day by day. Michael M says, possible this is an institutional cycle and retail really never enters. That could be the case. I think the wave of adoption is going to be large enough that on a percentage basis, institutions will probably put in more money, but we will get a huge number of new people coming in. Now, there's not as much free money that's around, so we may get less retail, but maybe retail also doesn't understand the things that I was talking to you about. And if you're new here, I hope you hear me. The price of an asset doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't mean it's better or worse if it's 90,000 or 7 cents. It's relative to the number of that asset, the number of tokens. For Bitcoin, we can come over here and just do a quick little lesson here before we hop into the TA. When we're looking here on the coinmarketcap.com, every one of you should be using this or CoinGecko, looking at this data. And what we see, you see the number 95,600. Great. We have the market cap, meaning the total amount of money that's in this asset. And you divide this by the circulating supply. How many units of that asset are available? So there's only 19.7 million Bitcoin. But then look at this. Come down here. You got XRP, 56.9, basically 57 billion tokens. That's why the price is so much smaller. And it's also why the market cap is smaller. If you divide basically this market cap by basically the token supply by this market cap, you get the unit price of that. Now, does this make this better or worse? Because look at this. This is $1.47. But why is this above Dogecoin? Dogecoin, or let's say here, this is $1.47. Should this be above Avalanche? Avalanche is 42. Shouldn't this be higher? You're not getting it. Look at the market cap, 83 billion in XRP, 17 billion in Avalanche. You want to pay attention to these things and don't buy a coin because you're like, oh, Tron is 2 cents. If this goes up to the price of Bitcoin, I'm going to be a trillionaire. It's not how it works because look at Tron. There are 86.3 billion tokens. 86.3 billion times $95,000. That would be bigger than the fucking GDP I can't even do the math right now, but it'd be massive. It's not going to be something that happens. You want to look at where things are ranked within this coin market cap ranking and help identify how your portfolio is positioned on a risk level. So just note that. Now, continuing on, I do think something like this may be in the store, but we do have to be aware there is something, and I pointed out yesterday, like we saw this 30% pullback and then 123% pump. If we saw something like that, that would actually result in something that's still bullish that would wash so many of you out, and I don't want it to. If this were to pull back that 30%, just like it did the last cycle, that would only result in the price action coming back down and revisiting, basically breakout of support. What do we usually watch for? Basically a retest confirmation and then that next move. So this wouldn't be out of context if this happens. Be aware, something like this, having a test down to 70,000 is possible. Now, me saying that, don't go out there posting on Twitter, Kelly Kellum over at BitLab says the price is going to 70,000. No, when you are navigating these markets, your job is to look at the different speculative paths that the price can go. If you're super bullish, make sure you outline a bearish target so it doesn't catch you off guard if that's what happens. I'm more in line with thinking that that is not going to happen, but we have to look at it because it has happened in cycles past. Now, if I had to guess here, if we do just a simple fib, let me delete that. What happened? Oh, somehow I went to, there we go. If we do a simple fib, let's do it from right here. Option F, bottom to top. Golden pockets right here about, look at that. Golden pocket, $78,000 to $80,000. If any of you know why that's important, let me know, because this golden pocket, a Fibonacci golden pocket, is essentially a math calculation of golden ratios that happen in math, not just in markets, but all throughout nature. It's the way trees organize themselves in a forest. It's the way a nautilus shell or a flower has perfectly symmetrical petals. Markets do the same thing. Why? Because the markets are representative. It's basically a visual graph of the psychology of humans trading in the market. The golden pocket is something that very regularly comes down and gets hit. Now, the bullish pullback would be here to 87,000. This is a 382, another Fibonacci, key Fibonacci number. This would be the most bullish pullback here and then continuation. If we come down into here, this ultimately still would be very bullish. And this also would be representative of, where is it at? That CME futures gap. That's what I was talking about. That golden pocket is perfectly in line with, look at that big ass gap right there. That's right. And look at where the golden pocket is, perfectly right on this. So if it comes down there, I'm jumping at the opportunity to dance with the devil at that level. Dave Middleton, that's right. It's where buyers want to enter, but we got to pay attention because there's so many people paying attention to this. I have a feeling like this might just run away from it, but we can't know until we know, meaning it's played out, which is why you have to look at different possibilities in this market. So let's continue on, and we're going to get into some TA here in just a moment. Bitcoin looks like that was likely the retest. This is from Rect Capital, always great charts here, but pushed up, came back down where? To where all these previous, yeah, we had a wick up, but look, we had a candle body right here, and some deviations around this zone. And this is exactly where price action, boom, came back and retested. So let's pay attention. Maybe we fulfilled the sort of shakeout. We're going to have to let this play out over time. Now, bullish, Bitcoin projected to hit $132,000 in 2025. And this, for anybody that's new here, how can we just say it's projected to hit 132? That's so high. Because we're looking at the cycle regularity of how the price action interacts. And most importantly, looking at the cycle of global liquidity, meaning the US government, the Bank of China, the Bank of Japan, the European Central Bank, printing money because that's the only thing they can do to keep the economy going forward. But most importantly, that's what governments want to do to maintain power because they don't want to upset the apple cart. They won't make the hard decisions. They keep printing money. Now that frickin' sucks for every single person out there that is not involved in any investments. If you're investing, then you get to capture the growth as that new money that's printed very more often than not filters its way into these different stores of value or investment opportunities, whether it's Bitcoin or gold or equities or commodities. But if you are participating in investing, then in reality, you're like, print money, man. If you print money, my asset's going to go up like a mother. That's right. But I'm also human. I studied anthropology, which is a study of people and cultures. I studied anthropology at Columbia University. So I've got a soft spot in my heart, understanding how, but at the same time, when you're in these markets, you have to compartmentalize what's good for your investments, but also be an advocate out in the real world for what should be happening and how we can hold different people and also our governments accountable. But in the market, I'm going to be a shark because I'm going to make sure, although all those things are happening, I have to make sure that I can capture whatever I can capture here. And I'm going to help you do this along the way. So projected global money supply is up to 127 trillion. If that's the case, which, we've been watching all that different, we talked about it yesterday with Matthew Hyland and Kevin Svensson, that uptick on the M2 money supply here in the US, but also, the ruble's not doing good in Russia. We're seeing the issues with the Japanese yen. We're seeing issues with the European Central Bank. Money printing is happening, whether you like it or not. So at least take advantage of how you can capture some of that devaluation of the dollar if you are not participating in investing in some capacity. So continuing on, what else we got? We got some good stuff today, man. Now here's something a little, I don't want to say worrisome, but I don't think this is going to happen, but let's look at it. 5 years ago, it took Bitcoin dominance 304 days of reaccumulation, orange box, to break out beyond the 57.68% resistance agreement. Essentially, this took about 304 days. And then after this consolidation of dominance, meaning how much money in the entire crypto ecosystem is specifically only in Bitcoin, and so this is a percentage of the entire crypto ecosystem, 58% right here, but this pushed up all the way up here to 71%. Everybody talks about that descending level of resistance, and maybe we're at it and this is about to break down. There's also a case to be made that potentially we've formed a sideways channel and this can continue up to 71%. Now that could mean two things. Bitcoin is just getting an absolute super cycle, mass adoption, money's pouring in, and it doesn't mean that altcoins won't perform. This would just mean that Bitcoin is outperforming in such a way that your altcoins some of the altcoins you're holding may not be performing as well as Bitcoin if this happens. I don't think we'll get up to 71%, maybe pushing up into 64, 65. But if I had to guess, this will likely start to roll over here in the near future. But I think we're going to have quite a bit of chop this cycle because of the different market participants that are yet to enter, that are surely talking about what their Bitcoin strategy is. So if we get a month or two where, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, all cascadingly start, really deploying into crypto, specifically Bitcoin as a, part of their treasury, then I think Bitcoin will outperform the market pretty substantially for a period of time. It depends on how those dominoes fall, when, how close together, all these things. There's so much so much growth to come in this market. All we need to do right now is, one, don't just blind yourself with so much data where you're confused. And I know I break down a lot of data, but figure out what it is, what your goal is, what you want to do. Going all in on a meme coin because you saw a 13-year-old make millions, that's not it. That's how you lose money. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in, invest, wrong word. I'm not saying don't play in memes. Go play in memes all you want. Everybody can do what they want. But it's more likely than not, on a statistical basis, proven, it's very unlikely you're going to make a shitload of money on memes. That's just the truth, because there's tens of thousands of memes made, sometimes daily, but of course, over the course of a week, there's probably 70 to 100,000 new meme coins made. So the fact that you think, because you saw a Twitter post, that you found the next thing and you put money in, and what happens is it goes up, you want it to go up further, you take zero profits, and then it drops and it goes below the point that you went in. Now, when you look at something like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Chainlink, Cardano, XRP, BNB, Near Protocol, GRT. I mean, a lot of the coins that we look at regularly, these have communities, these have ecosystems, these have integrations, they have developments, they have major partnerships, they have development and growth in terms of the use case that they are building. They are essentially building the platform, the railways for the future. So that's why I'm interested, because I'm like, okay, we're building infrastructure here for this next absolute massive technological, cultural, and economic revolution that we are in the middle of right now. We're in the middle of the Industrial Revolution, like we saw back in the 1800s. That took all the way into about the 1970s. We're doing that same thing, but it's going to happen in about 7 to 12 years from now, meaning it's for the most part going to be fully established. So being involved now means you're seeing what happened over the course of 150 years previously is now in process of happening quickly. Bitcoin, Genesis essentially, January 2009. So another, let's say 10 years from now, that'd be 2034. That would be 2009 to 20, that's, 20 plus years. Things are happening quick. Don't mess this up. So continuing on here, we got some more things to talk about. Man, this data, there's so much data today, guys. Ethereum about to throw one hell of an uppercut to the new all-time highs at this level here. And I think it's already broken out from here. We'll look at this in a second. We see the MACD right here, moving average, convergence, divergence. That's what MACD stands for, showing you where the momentum is swinging. This is starting to flip, and this is on a 2-month chart. If this really starts to get going, this will likely be making its way up here, somewhere in the, the mid-size, look, 10,000 all the way up here into the $15,000 to $20,000 range. We're going to have to see how it plays out. But everybody was starting to count out ETH, and I'm telling you, do not count out ETH, because you can see Ethereum is above the upper Bollinger Band on the daily, meaning that it's starting to really not only gain momentum, but break out of the standard deviation zone of where the chart, based on the volatility, was projecting it could go. It usually stays within these bands. These bands move based on basically the volatility over the last 20 period, meaning we're looking at the daily chart. So this is the 20 moving average, 20 daily moving average. These Bollinger Bands are basically showing you 2 standard deviations of where the price action will likely be based on the see how this was all very constricted over here under my picture, but very tight. You can see how tight these bands are. It's because the price action over the last 20-day period was not very volatile. As soon as it starts pushing up, you see how the volatility bands basically suggest where you can be paying attention. And what happens? It comes back, almost tests this band, and now it's looking like it wants to continue momentum to the upside. So let's pay attention to that. And then, of course, this continues to be the most important chart in crypto. Stablecoin market cap, meaning the coins that have been basically people converted fiat dollars into crypto dollars. They're dollars. It's pegged to a dollar, but they converted it into crypto so that they can deploy it in this market whenever they want. So when you see the market cap, meaning how many stablecoins are out there, and the dominance, how much in the entire crypto ecosystem is just sitting in stablecoins. If the dominance is up, that means people are holding their a sizable amount in stablecoins. And when that dominance starts to fall, that means they are deploying by buying crypto assets. So you can utilize these metrics to kind of get an idea how much buying pressure is on the side, ready to get deployed, and if there's momentum of deployment, aka buying pressure into the market. So let's look and see how effective bullish when stablecoin market cap is rising, new stablecoins being minted, but dominance is falling. So there's people deploying their fiat into crypto is what this is talking about. But the dominance is falling. That means they're minting a lot and it's immediately getting deployed into buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, all this other stuff. So looking at this, USDT, USDC market cap, boom, we have these combined essentially moving up. Now USDT, USDC dominance going down. And look at this, the total three minus USDT, USDT. So this is all the altcoins, everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, all your altcoins. This is rising, and you can see it's because the dominance is falling while they're also basically printing, converting fiat into crypto. So we are in the right direction right now, doing some magic here. The first candle breaking out of consolidation zone, the start of alt season. This is what we see right here. This is a total three. Total two from Trader Tardigrade. Look, broke out, little consolidation, then boom, massive alt season. We're right there right now. And as exciting as it is for your alts, we have seen, even back here, you can't see it under my picture, but a move up, a little bit of sideways, even a small pullback, and then the move. So we are attempting the breakout now. Let's see what happens over the next month or two, but we are in for an incredible, wonderful, holiday majestic vibe, especially going into 2025. Now, let's get into this. A report on which top cap altcoins are essentially eligible. Everybody thinks it's going to be this coin I hold. Well, which ones do the SEC suggest? These coins could probably do it. And it's out of all, this is just the top. Out of all of them, only Avalanche and Link. And they went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different criterion. And you could see ETH had it. USDT, no. You can see the different various, but you can also just see eligible. Nothing, yes, which is Avalanche. Nothing, yes, which is Link. Does it mean these other ones can't get an ETF? It doesn't mean that. It likely could happen. Maybe even some small adjustments need to be made with how they're operating their treasury or, coin drips and so on and so forth. But notice XRP also has a no. Everybody goes, XRP is going to be the next. Maybe it will. This is just a data point from the SEC. You can see that the link is right here. If you look at the post on my page, it's just a good talking point to think about when you're looking at if one of the metrics you're looking at for your investments is which is going to gain institutional sort of participation, and ETFs are going to be one of those things because it says the government approves of this and it gives you an easy capital channel into it. And it will very likely be involved in some sort of other crypto index fund, so on and so forth. Now, we're going to do some TA here for a couple minutes. Before we dive into that, I do want to say shout out to everybody that's in here. We got 514 people in the room. I want to shout out, make sure you are protecting yourself. Our channel partner, NordVPN. Head over to nordvpn.com/BitLab. Again, that's nordvpn.com/BitLab. You get 4 months extra free. And this is something I've been using Nord for 4 or 5 years before this. When I approached them, I want to share meaningful tools that I use with you guys. This also helps our channel if you need a VPN or you want a better one than one you got, or you just want the 4 months extra free, head over to nordvpn.com/BitLab. And then, of course, make sure you're utilizing that deal that you see on that link directly below the screen over there at lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. That's going to be going away when we break beyond $100,000. I had to extend it because the price moved so fast last time, but you get 15 days free and then another 35% off for the life of your account there. Again, that's lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. deal. And then, of course, we're going to get into some TA here right now, but make sure you are protecting your crypto so you can protect your future. One tap total security here with Arculus. Head over to getarculus.com and use code BitLab20, BITLAB20 for 20% off. BitLab20 at getarculus.com. And it's my preferred. It's what I use for my cold storage as well. It's, you know, you got biometric lock, you have the numeric pin, you have the Arculus card. It doesn't matter if you lose your phone, doesn't matter if you lose a card, because you need all these things in order to access the money on there. If you lose a card, you just get a new one, sync it to the wallet you have, good to go. Getarculus.com/BitLab. Special shout out to them. Now let's go ahead and look at some of these things because, guys, Link waking up. This is on the 24-minute. Let's look at this. Link is starting to wake up. It broke out of this pretty large downtrend we had here. Came down, retested. Kind of told you it wanted to continue breaking out because look at this. Falling wedge right into a key line that we've had here with this support, resistance. And look at this. Comes right down into this in a bullish pattern and then breaks to the upside. Now it's looking like it's got a little chop here. However, we got the stochastics almost fully reset here, rolling back over, meaning the stochastics, this orange line here, suggesting that it's primed to potentially set up for that next move up. VWAP angled up, money flow blue, this blue wave here, money flow positive, meaning money's coming into this asset. Now the momentum wave is coming down here, so it may not be set right now. We may have a little bit more of a choppy zone in here, but I'm very bullish on Link going into this next run. ONDO also pushing up, but it's starting to look a little weak here. And look at this. This is a bar that we drew way back over here in April and into July. And look, price action, it's that price memory thing, meaning where price had a lot of trouble or a lot of choppiness around it. Rejection, support, rejection, rejection, support, support, rejection, rejection, rejection. And look at this. Price action pushes up into it. And what is this pattern that we talked about on Bitcoin the other day? And I talk about it all the time. This is that move up, smaller move up, smaller move up. And now we're getting to where we're starting to get a little bit of a lower low. It's not super low, but if this rolls over here, we may be getting another opportunity down here on ONDO, but that is okay because anything that drops down into this zone, I think will be a really good buying opportunity before this market gets away from us. I do want to just check in here, little vibe check. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats or gifts because I like to call every single one of you out when you do that, and I do appreciate you. XRP. Look at this. I mean, massive bull flag. The target out of this, the target out of this is up here in this $1.88 sort of range. And we didn't quite get there. This is starting to look a little weaker. And look at this, the top of this momentum wave and then the top of this one. This is high. This is higher on the price action, but this as a lower high. There's a little bit of divergence there. Little bit of lack of strength there. So as it stands right now, this is partially why you can see the price action is kind of just chopping right here in the zone. So I would be a little, I don't say hesitant. I'd be just a little cautious here. It does look like it's attempting a little bit of a breakout here, but you can also notice massive momentum up, massive momentum. There we go. Massive momentum up. That's just the size of this move. And this is a much smaller move. So we have to be a little bit cautious in the zone right here because this is not made a small move in the last, many days. This has been, 234% move. If this consolidates here a little longer, or even comes down and retests into this $9, $14 mode, that wouldn't be out of context. There is a huge amount of bullish excitement in XRP because of some of that, the suppressive nature that Gary Gensler was a part of on this, the fact that he has announced that he's resigning and some of the cases that they've won and some of the judges' rulings and so forth, this may blow everybody's minds. I was a naysayer, but you can't argue with the chart. It's starting to see that life. Let's be a little bit cautious here. That next major level we're really watching for. Let's see. I'm just trusting my chart here. Yeah, this dollar, basically $1.82 to $1.97. Under $2. This is going to be the next issue that we have to watch, this next real area. If we do get a larger pullback, then this would be scary to everybody. could have a golden pocket pullback to 90 cents. But again, I think the bullishness in the market is not going to allow this. So look at this. We talked about this potentially coming into this zone. And look, there's a 382 Fibonacci, sort of a key Fibonacci level there at that $1.20 mark. And this did have a big move. So this would be a great opportunity zone if it does pull back into that. Avalanche. Look at that. Nice bullish move up. Has a wick up, but wicks down. This is trying to, you can see it. You can see it fighting to get through this channel right here that we've had marked out on here. This blue zone. If this is able to get out of that, then the next target up we're looking for is right here. Why right here? It's random, Kelly. You're just drawing lines on a chart because I see this rejecting. I see these wicks bouncing. I see this rejecting. So this is the next logical level we're watching for. It's right at that round number, $50. But then look at our big winner chicken dinner, Constellation DAG. And look at where that tapped. It tapped right there on the level that we've had marked out for some time. And we were talking about this right here, down here at 2 cents. I said it's bottoming. We started stacking in. You can see that reflected in the fact that on this Constellation DAG, we are up 201%. I added a few times. So there's an average entry that I have. Look at this, 2.9 cents. The first purchase we made was at about 2 cents. Oh, where'd it go? Where are we at? Boom, boom. Was at about 2 cents. So right in this zone, I was adding and it came back down and I bought somewhere here. And this is just, massive move there. Look at that. And this is just getting started. This is just getting back to this level right here. But we still got at minimum, I would call for 30 cents, which is the golden pocket of this macro move. But I personally think this is going to blow people's minds because of the contracts that they have with the U.S. Air Force and the Department of Defense and a U.S. Transcom and Panasonic. They are so integrated and they've been working and having true working contracts and partnerships with those companies for years. And they're only recently rolling out to, the awareness of retail. So this is just getting started. I would watch for a potential pullback though. As bullish as I am, you cannot ignore pullbacks that like to shake out the weak hand. So what are we looking? Very simple. Draw a fib from this low to the high. Okay. Now we see the golden pocket, which is right here. We do option H, which is a horizontal line. You can see this is where this rejected, this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, this rejected, choppiness right in here. So this would be a key level to watch for if this does come all the way back down here, break people's hearts to 47 cents, 48 cents. The bullish case for a pullback would be if this ends up getting rejected here, would be to, consolidate here a little bit, have a washout into this zone right here, which is 64 cents. Sorry, not 64 cents. Sorry, I didn't see the zero there. Basically 5 cents, or basically right here, 6.4 cents. Sorry, I misread the numbers there. But you can see with my mouse across here, this is a 382. There was a little bit of support there, rejection here, support here, support here. So if we get that pullback, for me, I'll be jumping at potentially being able to stack in a little bit more to my position there. Render. Come on. We're on the 3-day chart. Look at this. Sideways action. Broke out, back up into this. We have this trend line here that this did break above, found support. It's kind of riding this right now. What does this look like on the 24 minutes? Okay, it's looking a little choppy. Boom, it's looking a little choppy here. So we can draw a trend line from this low right here, draw it across. Let's see where we can touch the most candles. Doesn't matter if you have a deviation. You want to touch the most candles or wicks to the same zone, and it's kind of right in the zone. As it stands right now, let's look at, okay, money flows up. VWAP's kind of rolling over. What does it look like on the 2 hour? So money flows up. Okay, money flow is starting to pop green. We have a lot of green here. This is kind of trading sideways a little bit. If we can clear $8.30. What is the hell is this line? Okay, boom. Yeah. 8.30 will be, a level. But this is going to be more important. 8.57. Why? Because you see this rejection, this support, this rejection. We've got a little bit of a semi spider line on the chart saying there's a lot of price memory at this diagonal right in here. So if this starts pushing up, watch here at this zone. If it does potentially get rejected, come back, test or whatever. But guys, the market's heating up. Things are feeling good. Is this starting to push back up? Let's look at, I want to go over this with you guys before we get off the stream. Why did I take these various trades? Well, as the market was starting to push up, we have this key level. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Boom. So we have this sort of key level with all that. This is starting to round. You see this? This is starting to round. What do you mean, Kelly? Why is it rounding? Well, you can just look at it. It's rounding, right? So on this roundingness, I saw this attempt down and the move back up. And on that same zone, on this same zone, what do I see? What am I seeing in the chart? On this same zone, I'm wondering if it's actually going to break out because that roundingness suggests a reversal might be in play. On this same zone, I see the money flow tried to come down and bounced at zero and very aggressively started pushing back up. The RSI came down and bounced and started very aggressively pushing back up. And then the stochastics right here bottomed and were already angled very sharply up. So I had 1, 2, 3 different indicators in addition to what we're seeing here on the price structure. So I got in. What did I do when I got in? I got in. Boom. Really quick move. Made money right there. Very quick. Took a, let's go to the 1 minute. There we go. Got in right here. Got out right here. Now, why did I get out right here? Let me look at this. There we go. Because this moved up. This looked like it was kind of fighting for the potential, the potential of it actually breaking out, and the money flow started coming down. So I got out. But then I saw the money flow exploded up as this actually broke through and consolidated a little bit. The money flow broke up and the stochastics angled up sharply into this. So I got in, the strength is high, boom. And then I rode this over to this position right here. And at this position right here, the stochastics started to round out like this. The MACD crossed back over bearish and the money flow was started, kind of pulling out. So I was just making very quick moves. And now this will be more important right here. On this zone right in here, this all moved because I changed the time frames. On this zone right in here, we had a bit of what we call a broadening wedge. So we have a range of the price action trading between these zones. And as you can see right here, the money flows up. The MACD is angled to the upside. Stochastics are relatively strong, not really angled down. The RSI is just looking fine. So I got in, boom, because this came back to the other thing that we have not talked about yet. This moving average, this was being held under the moving average, boom. So on this breakout, on this bounce of this trend line right here on the 1 minute chart, because everything else, nothing looked bearish, I got in. And then boom, got out right here. Why did I get out? Look, right as this happened, stochastics, boom, sharply down. We're getting a convergence. The MACD is getting closer together, meaning the momentum is not there anymore. So we got out. And when we got out here, now we have an area that we can look to get in. Well, we came back down to this moving average and I'm watching these candlesticks. So watching these candlesticks, boom, right here. Well, we see now that the stochastics are bottoming out. So I front ran that a little bit and we then traded this, boom, right up into this. Same thing, so on, over and over. And on this move right here, I can delete some of these arrows. On this move right here, when this broke down, I said, okay, I'm going to wait for this to come back and confirm the move. And it's either going to break through and I can ride that, or it's going to show me it's a confirmed breakdown and I'll get out. And that's exactly what happened. Came back up here. We do have a lower low all of a sudden, followed by a lower high that on these candles right here, see how that's a little, basically reversal candle, starting to confirm the reversal. And then right here, this candle right here really confirmed it, but coming back up into this area with a lower low followed by a lower high. Okay, I got out of this trade. Now, as it started pushing back up into here, then this zone right here, this level, the reason I got in there is because when we look at Bitcoin on this chart, we can see, let's go to the 24-minute chart. We have this level that we talked about yesterday in the chart, this low. I was watching for the price action because we rejected on it. On the breakout of that, I wanted to trade it. And we did. And it's kind of, I'm just going to get out of this trade. Just let's actually look. Money flows up. See, stochastics angle sharply down. Ooh, man, this 1 minute chart can be a doozy. But look at this. It's finding support on this moving average. Boom, 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 boom. We're basically at break even. And I'm going to be getting off the stream, so I'm just going to close that out. Boom. Break even there. So, alrighty then. But guys, the market's feeling good. Things are waking up. We got green in the charts. We're seeing some magic going on. I love you guys. Welcome Heather Hauer to being a BitLab Tech. Big love to you. Big appreciation. Every single one of you that is a BitLab member, drop the BitLab member emojis in the chat right now. Let's get this flying before the end of this stream. I want to see as many bulls as possible. Spam some bulls in here. Again, remember everybody, one of the best ways you can help support this channel is joining us over there in our Discord. And if you want to upgrade from the Discord, we have 120 lessons teaching technical analysis, patterns, candles, on-chain data analysis, organizing your portfolio, it's all in there. Right over there, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Again, that's lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. I appreciate you guys. I'll put it in the pinned comments as well. I'll put it in the live chat. You can just click on it. Go and join us in there. That deal is going to be going away once we basically break $100,000. But you can join whenever. I just want you to get the best deal. I really do appreciate you guys. How many bulls we got? We didn't get any bulls, man. Come on, guys. Wake up. Let's get these bulls going, man. The market's pumping. If you want this market to pump, you need to pump it with hitting some bulls in this chat. Man, I'm just so bullish for this holiday season. Even with the pullback, I don't care. I'm so excited for 2025. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Let's be smart. I love you guys. Give everybody and your friends and family and everywhere love. Be patient this holiday season. Point them to this video. If they want to know about Bitcoin, I talk about a lot of the sort of, is Bitcoin price high? You know, because I know a lot of your friends, aunts, uncles, cousins, that price is too high. I'm not tell them to watch some of the stuff here on BitLab Academy. But that's all I got today, everybody. We're going to head over to Blockchain Basement. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for being here. Thank all of you for fucking making some profits over and over and over again. I love you guys. Adios.